Okay, I got a little long on just RY and off on a little bit of a tangent. So I now have the questions in front of me that are often asked so that I will go through them. Like I said, I'll link um, the so you can read it if you don't want to listen to it. They'll be similar, but I might add a little bit here or there. So, honest to goodness, the number one question I get asked first is Belle going to? Yes, she is. The reason people ask that is because she is 19, so she has graduated, and she could be, on her own if she wanted to be. But she's worked at the library the past year, which has been a really great experience, and she's actually going to be a full-time student, starting to work towards her library sciences degree in the fall. And that will all be online, at least the first portion of it. So, yes, she's going with us. I don't think we would go if she wasn't. Yeah, I know we wouldn't go if she wasn't. Not right now, anyway. Are the dogs going with us? Yes, they are. There was also no question that they would be going with us, but they present a different challenge because we can't, you don't travel quite as far as we typically, maybe when we go on a vacation, if you have your 6, 8, 10-hour days sometimes, we're not going to be traveling like that now anyway. But the dogs, they're not used to like long car rides. Everything, they go a lot of places with us, but it's all right here at home. So it's going to take some getting used to. They're getting used to the trailer. I'm not too worried about that. Space-wise, Zoomer's already claimed a certain spot on the couch that he likes, and Zoe picks a spot on the floor that she likes. It's also another one of the reasons I made sure we had a king-size bed is so that because they sleep with us often right now, so that there's space for them. So I'm not worried about that, but there are things like they're going to have to be on a leash way more than they're used to, just like when we're places. Like right now I open up the back door, we have a fenced in back yard, they run around and they're free. They can be out there whenever they want. So there's some adjustments. Also, I'm not super comfortable leaving them in the trailer until I know that they're used to it, and even then I don't plan to leave them very long. And there's a lot of systems that people have shared, like cameras and sensors to make sure your air conditioners are still running and so forth. So I don't want to be, if they are left in the trailer at campgrounds or sites, I still don't want to be too far. So we might just have some adjusting. We might have rotations, like not everybody does everything all the time. And that's not a hindrance necessarily. That's just something we're going into knowing that it's going to be a little bit different, because we want them to be with us, so we will make the adjustments that we need to. How long are we going to travel? The plan is, we say 9 to 12 months. It's debatable. The boys kind of think they want to be back in Wisconsin for summer, possibly for baseball and weather. They don't want to be any place too hot, but yeah, just going with it. But we'll see. We'll see where we are, because if we have the opportunity and a little bit more time, we can maybe get a little farther. And there's like really half the country that we're not possibly going to get to. So if we could go a little farther, that would be great. Otherwise, the tentative plan will be back in time for Jason to take up his teaching assignment next August. So that's where we're at. What was I going to say? Oh, traveling wise. So we've taken some larger, extensive family trips. So I've been to quite a few states. I think, last calculation, and I would have to recheck, I think I only have 7 more to go. And I'd like to have all 50 done by my 50th birthday. And that sounds scary. The kids are doing decent, but we've actually been in, even if it just counts as driving through already, we've been in several of the states that we're going to go to again, but this time will be more awesome, more extensive, instead of just literally driving through it to say we've been in it. So 9 to 12 months is the plan. Are we coming back? That is also the plan. Wisconsin is home. The people that we want to be near are here. It's just, there's a lot of draws to come back here. Now, Jason would be okay if we never did winter again. However, Annabelle would not. She loves winter, so we'll make our plans, but that is the plan to come back here. We'll be sharing, absolutely, somewhat on Facebook, also on Instagram, under my account, therainbowradish.com, or not .com, that's the blog, therainbowradish.com. The Instagram is the Rainbow Radish, and I believe it's _rainbow_radish, and it's linked in the attachment that I have there too. And then also on YouTube, so I already have my YouTube channel set up, and so we're just going to continue to use that one. That's also under the Rainbow Radish, and that's linked as well. So that will include a lot of this travel stuff, and it may include some other things that we share as well. Are you going to drive each other crazy? Emmett says no. I think probably most definitely. I don't actually think it's going to be any or much worse than normal. I mean, there's 6 of us living in a fairly small house, and my kids are just getting bigger, and the house is not growing in size anyway. So we're used to being together. I note that Jason will probably be the one with potentially the hardest adjustment, just because we kind of have our groove. We're together, you know, we have our battles sometimes, or the kids, you know, get on each other's nerves. The one thing is there won't be quite as much space. Not everybody will be able to go into their own bedrooms, but we will have the outdoors, and the bunk room does have 4 designated bunks. And so even though they don't have their own room, they do have at least one section that is designated as their personal space. And also, like, people can use our main bedroom if they just need space to be blocked off from everybody else. Will we be working? And did Jason quit teaching? Jason did not quit teaching. He took a year leave of absence. The school board approved it, and that was, or who had to approve it? School board, superintendent, I don't know, principal. There was a lot of talk there, and it was very awesome that they allowed us to do this. So Jason is actually planning on working remotely, even if it's part-time or full-time. We'll see. We haven't found quite the right fit as of right now, because he still wants to be able to do things and not just be completely tied down as we take these adventures. I will continue to work on my entrepreneurial stuff. I have created a course. I want to continue to share Young Living. Lots of stuff that gets in my head and partially out, and then I hope to continue to work on that. So where are we going, and how long will we be at each place? Oh, and this is a week or so, and that's probably pretty fair. On the low end, probably 3 to 4 days, just because traveling is tough. Jason has already drove the truck, and the trailer. He went out to get it in Georgia and drove it back. Now, he has some experience with his family having campers growing up, and his parents having a 5th wheel right now, but this is the biggest thing that he's ever drove, and he has done really well with it. He's getting pretty good, pretty fast at backing in. I actually wanted to go to what's called RV school. It's a real thing where, like, a driving instructor comes to you, uses your car and your rig, and teaches you how to use it. And I was gung-ho about it, even though it's pricey. It's like $800 to $1,000. I'm like, I have no intention of driving this on a regular basis, but I felt I needed to be prepared. And now that we have all of it, I'm completely freaking out and intimidated. So that is not set up, and I am not learning to do that at this point. But where we are going, we will first head northwest. That way. We're going that way. So it's kind of fun. Emmett he was in 4th grade last year, and 4th graders actually have the opportunity to have a pass to get into national parks for free. And so his pass technically expires at the end of August. So we thought it would be really cool if he could get us into a national park for free. So we are heading to North Dakota, which kids have never been to, and we are going to the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. So it actually looks really cool, very excited, and Emmett gets to get us into there. A few years ago when we went to Yellowstone, it worked out that Owen was in 4th grade, and his pass got us into there. See, here, I'm not all by myself. We're kind of taking, we'll learn as we go, but we're kind of taking the guidance of people that have done this extensively, that not to drive, like some people drive like 300 miles on a travel day, or 3 hours of driving, because it gets draining. And you want to take your time to set up to get going from one place to the other, but you also want to get to where you're going so you can get set up there while it's still daylight and have everything right and be able to relax. We don't want to be rushed. We will have to know where we're going from one destination to the next. Even right now, like, we have to be somewhat flexible because there are places, that are booked out already 6 months to a year. So there might have been some places that we really wanted to go to, but they're already full. We get that. Kind of late into the planning game for some of this, so we will have to go where there's also openings, but I'm not too worried about it. We just have to be flexible. But we will also need to know on a daily basis on a travel day, like, where we are headed. Unlike when we travel previously on vacations, we just go until we got tired or as far as we could go, and then we would go ahead and book a hotel room. That's not going to be the case this time. We're going to need to know where we're going. But we will go to Theodore Roosevelt National Park, and then we'll head up to Glacier National Park. And then from there, it's not completely set. That's where I'm at. I do feel delayed. But that's the way things have worked out for us right now as far as planning and what we've had to take care of, what has taken priority. But that's kind of my next step, is to get some of these things laid out. We leave in a month. We leave mid-August. But we'll go northwest, hopefully into Washington and Oregon, and I'd really like to do California, but we'll see. California has some places that are more RV friendly and some places that are not. California is a little bit more expensive sometimes, so we'll see. I also would like to get to Utah this fall because there's tons of things and so many parks, and we have hikers in our family and we have mountain bikers in our family, and so there's a lot of opportunities for that, but we also need to get to those places before it gets too cold. So how long are we selling our house? We did sell our house. That was a big deal. This house has been home for the 2 youngest kids forever and ever. The 2 olders have moved a couple times when we moved from the Reedsburg area to Alaska. So this is, besides like my childhood home, this is where we've lived the longest. So we have 15 years, 6 kids worth of stuff to go through, and actually making a huge amount of progress. I actually went through stuff that I had never unpacked from moving here 15 years ago, and a lot of that was my teaching stuff, and a lot of that just got trashed, a lot of papers and stuff, so that's been holding down our house. So it was fun to see that stuff though. We put our house up for sale on a Friday. We had several, 25 exactly, appointments over the weekend that people came in and saw it, and we accepted an offer on Monday. So that was way different than the last time we sold our house, which took months, and you had to clean it up and then leave for a couple hours and then come home and put everything back where you actually wanted it. This time we just had it cleaned all up. We left for 4 days and then we came home and made it ours again. This house will be missed. A lot of parts of this house will be missed. This location, the neighborhood, Mr. Peaches. If you don't know about Mr. Peaches, he is a peach tree that lives in our front yard, and if we could find a way to take him with us, we would. We are trying to get some of the seeds from the peaches that are growing right now to see if we could potentially grow another peach tree. So, yeah, this house will be missed, but we decided to sell because over the past couple of years we've looked for land property anyways. we would like more space. So this will allow us that flexibility when we come home to see what we'd like to do as well. So are we putting our stuff in storage? That's not the plan. If we end up with too much that we want to keep, we will. Right now, it's being stored in a family member's garage. The sentimental stuff. We started with anything that we weren't attached to or that we could buy again. We were just letting it go. But when it comes down to it, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we have to rebuy on the other end. So it was paying for the storage shed or having to rebuy all this stuff. You know, that's something we had to consider. So we're not planning on it. If we end up with too much stuff that we want to save, we will get it. So what kind of RV did we get? We got an Open Range 374 BHS, stands for bunkhouse, and we will give you a tour very soon. This model became my dream model, my unicorn, the one that I wanted. I did so much research, and there's a lot of there's tons of trailers out there, and trailer and RV are kind of just loose terms for everything. But there were some things that I knew that I wanted to have, and as I started to look, my list got longer of things that I knew I wanted to have, which also meant the actual trailer got narrowed down as to what it was and where we would find it. We were in one of these in Iowa, about an hour away, but it was a brand new one. And we actually didn't want a brand new one, and we didn't like the price tag of the brand new one. So that's the only one we had actually been in, besides the however many YouTube videos I watched to scour these things. And I, when taking virtual tours with other owners and with dealerships, I think I knew more about the rig than they did anyway, so I think that's kind of funny. But yes, there was a lot of things that I decided I wanted, and I found it in this particular model, and we almost didn't end up with it because there's not many available, and not many available in the price that we wanted to pay. We actually had offers on not one but two different ones, one in Oklahoma and one in Maryland, that were supposed to be ours, but they sold it out from underneath us. The first one was devastating. The second one was just like, oh my gosh, can't believe this happened again. But in the end, it worked out with some amazing people in Georgia, so we still had to travel quite far. But yeah, they took really good care of this, and when Jason went to pick it up, they were awesome, and they helped him figure some things out, and it's very clean, and so I'm just really impressed, very excited, glad that that's the way that it worked out. And that's what people were telling me when those other ones got sold out from underneath us, like, there's something better. Like, I get it, and sometimes it's nice just to have somebody else be able to look at that perspective for you, because sometimes you're too close to it. So Open Range 374 BHS, and you will Grand Design and Open Range are two of the more popular or more full-time areas kind of tend to look at just by the way that they're made. Grand Design is really nice. They're also a little higher in price, and I didn't find the floor plan that I was looking for. So Open Range, I just kept being drawn back to Open Range, and there was a couple models I was considering, and then I found this one like way late in my stage of researching, and it was love, first sight. The truck, Jason, that's another fun story that I think he has already done a video on how we had the truck, but we ended up with a Ford F350 dually. That also was tons of research. Trucks are pricey right now, and we weren't willing to pay some of those prices. So again, we started looking really far away, and even just he'd been actually. Did you guys go to Iowa to look at trucks too? Yeah, you did. That was a different trip. My dad went across the state to look at some trucks for us. We ended up with this truck right here locally from an owner in West Salem, which is right there. So it is really cool how the fruition of the truck came to be. So I will have Jason share that video too. So both the truck and the RV came from private sellers. Another frequently asked question, and one of my first questions too when we're doing this, how do you get your mail? How do you get your stuff? So obviously we'll go digital with as much as we can. And things like my Young Living order, our Young Living order every month, I'm like, how do we get that? I need that stuff. So and this is going to be learning as we go as well, but like stuff from Amazon, you can send it to an Amazon locker, or some Kohl's have pickups, stuff like that. So just as long as you know where you'll be able to send it to those locations and then go pick it up. You can also send stuff to post offices. Some campgrounds are really generous and will just let you send your packages there, and then you pick them up when you get there. So we'll get this figured out. So I know that it's feasible. We just have to see it in action. What if you hate it? I don't think we will. We're in a pretty good mindset, but it's possible. Like this, just we don't want to do 9 or 12 months. We don't want to do 5 months. We are just done. Okay. Like we can stop whenever we want to stop. We can shift and pivot and stay longer at a place if we want to. We can come home if we want to. The what if we hate it is not really a factor for us right now. I mean, it's a possibility, not worried about it, but we can just shift. We can just change whatever we need to do. Absolutely, is there going to be learning curves? Absolutely. There are going to be frustrations and challenges? Absolutely. But we get to do this stuff that we don't know how to do yet, so we have to be ready for a little bit of a challenge. Why now? And I said in my typing that I'm looking at, it says the snarky answer, of course, is why not? Why not now? But truly, if you watch the other video, I had started to research this a couple years ago. Timing right now is just good. Everything really just fell into place, and that's so exciting. It's just gonna work. Okay, so yes, gas prices are like higher than they've been, and we got a diesel truck now, and we actually have to take 2 vehicles, but it's okay, you know. So maybe we won't get to do everything we wanted to do or would want to do cost wise, but we still get to do a lot. So that's cool. It's at a good timing for all the kids. It's at a good timing for Jason. So it's just now's the time. And then the last question that I typed up is how did this all come about? And that is primarily what I shared in the first video, which I will put a link so you can zip all over if you want to watch that too. All right. Anything else you want to add right now?
No.
All right. If you have questions, keep asking them. I can't guarantee I will know the answer, or that I will even be willing to answer all of them, but I will answer, I'm willing to answer most of them. So, okay. Until next time. Thanks.